You wake up and stare at the ceiling. You're not in pain. You're not sick. But somehow, even lifting your arm feels like too much. You tell yourself, I should get up. You glance at your phone, messages, tasks, deadlines, and still, you remain under the blanket, motionless. Then comes the voice. You're just lazy. But here's the truth. You're not lazy. You're exhausted. Not from lack of sleep, not from physical effort, but from a slow, invisible erosion of your inner space. You've been pushing, performing, checking boxes, answering emails, showing up even when your soul didn't. You've been running on empty for longer than you realize. And when the tank runs dry, silence feels like failure. Stillness feels like weakness. But what if it isn't? What if your exhaustion isn't a flaw, but a signal? A quiet call from your mind saying, I can't carry this pace anymore. In a culture that glorifies movement, stillness becomes rebellion. Doing nothing becomes taboo. And so we hide our fatigue behind productivity. We disguise burnout as busyness. But Zen whispers something else. It doesn't tell you to strive. It doesn't shame you for stopping. It says, just sit, just be. Not to escape the world, but to return to yourself. You're not broken. You're not weak. You're not lazy. You're simply tired. And maybe what you truly need is not another plan, another push, or another cup of coffee, but a moment of nothing, a breath, a pause, a space where being is enough. We live in a world that worships movement. Our calendars are full. Our minds are busier than ever. And our worth? Too often measured by how much we do. From childhood, we're trained to achieve, study hard, win awards, get results, work longer, climb faster, always produce. Productivity becomes morality. Busyness becomes a badge of honor. And rest, real rest, feels like failure. Even our leisure is optimized. We track our steps, monitor our sleep, measure our mindfulness. We ask, how can I be more efficient at relaxing? This is the Western disease. The obsession with doing, with fixing, with improving, with always being on the way to somewhere else. We are afraid to stop because stillness feels unproductive. And in a world that never stops, what doesn't move feels left behind. But what if the constant doing is what's breaking us? What if growth doesn't come from more effort, but from less noise? What if we've mistaken motion for meaning? Zen offers a different lens, one that sees value in being over becoming. That teaches, you are not what you do. You are what remains when you do nothing at all. Zen doesn't tell you to abandon your life. It doesn't say, stop working or retreat from the world. Instead, it says, be here, fully. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now in Zen, stillness is not escape. It's not laziness. It's not shutting off. It's a return, a coming back to what is already present, but drowned beneath the noise. The Zen master doesn't lecture. He sits. He breathes. He drinks tea with full attention, because the smallest act, when done with presence, is no longer small. To be doesn't mean to stop forever. It means to recognize the moment before rushing into the next. It's the space between thought and action, between stimulus and response. It's where clarity lives. You don't need to quit your job. You don't need to run to the mountains. Zen asks only this: can you do less and be more? That's not inactivity. That's awareness. That's discipline. That's the kind of power that doesn't shout, but cannot be shaken. We've been taught to fear the empty space, a blank calendar, a quiet afternoon, a moment without a task. It feels wrong, as if something important is being lost, as if we're falling behind. But in Zen, that space, that silence, is where everything begins. Doing nothing isn't a waste of time. It's how you remember who you are beneath all the doing. Think of a musician. The pause between the notes is what gives the music its shape. Think of a painter. Without white space, there is no form, only chaos. Think of your life. Without moments of stillness, it becomes noise. We don't burn out because we do too little. We burn out because we never stop doing. We confuse fatigue with failure. But sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is pause. Zen doesn't ask you to withdraw from life. It asks you to move from a different center, to act from stillness, not stress, to choose from clarity, not compulsion. Doing nothing is not the end of growth. It's the soil in which growth becomes possible. When the world is loud, stillness can feel like absence, like something is missing, like you're falling out of rhythm with the world. But stillness isn't the absence of life, it's the presence of something deeper. A quiet forest isn't empty. A calm lake isn't lifeless. Your breath, when you finally notice it, isn't doing nothing. It's keeping you alive. Stillness is not a pause in meaning. It's how meaning finds its way back. Zen teaches us this. You don't need to fight every storm. Sometimes you just need to step out of the wind, to sit, to let the chaos pass without becoming part of it. Stillness is not what happens when you give up. It's what happens when you return. Return to your breath. Return to your senses. Return to the part of you that doesn't need noise to feel alive. You restore not by adding more, but by removing what never belonged. Fear, rush, the story that you're only valuable when you're producing. The body knows how to heal when it finally stops being chased. And the mind? It finds clarity not in more answers, but in fewer distractions. Stillness isn't an escape. It's the ground beneath your feet. The one you forgot was always there. What if, just for today, you didn't try to fix everything? What if you stopped chasing the next thing, the next reply, the next task, the next version of yourself? What if you simply sat, no agenda, no performance, no proving, just you, and the breath you forgot you were holding? You're not behind, you're not failing, you're simply here. And maybe that's enough. So take 5 minutes, not to meditate, not to optimize, but to exist. Feel the chair beneath you, the air around you, the life within you. Let the world keep spinning. Let others run faster. Let your worth be untouched by the pace of the day. Doing nothing isn't passive. It's powerful. Because in that stillness, you reclaim the space that's always been yours. So ask yourself, not as a task, not as a challenge, but as an offering. What would happen if you truly did nothing today?